Do
Yeah,
we
go
go?
for it, Bonnie.
I'm not seeing the other part. I'm sorry.
Really?
Good afternoon. We're so glad that you joined us today. Um, this is our first UODev live stream. I hope that you get all your answers, which you probably won't, but we'll do our best. We're happy that you joined us, and we want to do a special thanks, and I'm so sorry if I butcher this name, to Atero for allowing us to use this amazing rendition of Stones, which you're probably listening to or have been listening to. So to begin this, I'd like to introduce my team. We have Stephen Brown, which is our engineer. We have Greg Havelish, which is our developer. We have Michael Armstrong, which is our lead QA. We have Jim Crawley, which is our lead artist. And we have Tori Phillips, which is our other artist. We can only have one lead, so I'm sorry, Tori. So with that being said, let's begin and go on with the show, because I know you want to know what we're going to say. This is our 23rd anniversary birthday. We're so glad that you are here. We've had so much support from our wonderful players for 23 years with all the feedback and everything else. So we know that it's been very stressful this year. 2020 has not been kind to anybody. So I hope everybody's staying safe. We appreciate all your support. We're always here. All the emails that we get, we read them whether we answer them or not. We're doing our best to make sure that UO stays for another 23 years. Surprisingly, this game was not even supposed to survive for 6 months, and look what we've done. I mean, this is probably the most awesome game that I have ever played, and I've played quite a few. I have worked on UO since '99 and never left. So I'm kind of like the doctor, and I'm always around, and I'm not leaving. The team that you see right now is the team, and we're not adding anybody else. Richard Garrett will not be joining us. Sorry, he's got other things to do, and we have a lot of plans and a lot of things to discuss. So with that, I hope that everybody continues to support us and join us in UO, because we have a lot of great things coming. We want to kind of bring things back to old days. And I would like to start off with Michael, and he's going to tell you some of his memories of UO and how long he's played and stuff. So, Michael?
I have played since '97. I've worked on UO since 2008. But the early days back in '97, '98, that time frame, I remember being frightened while playing the game. Basically, there was always that adrenaline rush of, am I going to get PK'd? Is somebody going to come and steal all the ore I'm mining? Or after I kill this ogre, or while I'm killing this ogre, am I going to get jumped? I remember, I think back then, I don't know what server we were playing on at the time, but we would basically be farming in, say, Shame, and the you would always set a hide macro on every character, regardless of what they did. You always had a hide macro, and you would always keep an eye out for a gate opening, because as soon as that gate opened, pretty much you were assured that someone's coming in to kill everyone. You'd be in Shame fighting various monsters, and the second that gate would open, you'd hit that hide macro, and you'd sit there and you would see a steady stream of murderers just piling out of this gate and basically starting to move down the corridors to basically clean up everyone that didn't hide. That's one of the things I remember. I remember, I believe when we first started, We were very new to the game, and a PK that I didn't realize was a PK at the time came to Masana and I while we were near the guard zone border, and we were mining or something, and he comes running and he says, "Oh my gosh, this house just fell, or I can't carry all this." And he basically convinced us to follow him out into the wilderness to help him gather all this loot. Whatever we could grab, we could carry, we could take it with us. He just didn't want it to go to waste. He thought, "Oh, this is awesome. Thanks, Mim." And we followed him out to what ended up being where he killed both of us. It was I was a big adrenaline rush, and just the anger that filled me at this guy. I actually carved his name into the old CRT monitor that I was using at the time, so that I would always remember Min. And later on, as years passed, I did get my revenge, and I did kill Min at some point, but I will always remember that name, and never trust anyone who needs help carrying loot.
But we found him in shame and killed him many times, so we got payback.
Those are the types of memories that I'm. It doesn't sound like I'm fond of them, but I am very fond of those.
Greg?
Yeah, so I started playing Ultima Online back in 1999. It was right into Second Age, and if you look back right here, it's the box from the original game that I bought at Babbage's. And I remember walking up to the counter at this PC store place and asking the guy behind the counter if UO the Second Age came with UO the First Age, because of course I had no idea. So the first time I logged into UO, it was like nothing I'd ever experienced before. I had this character, and I had played all kinds of games, I think, at that time, mostly on like Nintendo and a couple of PC games. But here was this character in this world that felt so alive and so rich that it almost seemed real. And once I actually met another player and realized it was an actual human and not an NPC or whatever, it was even more mind-blowing. I think the fondest memories that I have of my Britannian Legacy are that, spending time with a guild that I became very active with, and, it ended up being the reason that I really wanted to get into gaming as a career, and I've been fortunate enough to do that since beginning as an EM in late 2008, 2009, and then as a dev in 2012. And it's been an honor and a pleasure to contribute to that Britannian legacy. So I'm really excited about what's coming next, and here we go.
Sorry.
So I guess it's my turn. I have two. I'm sorry? Oh. I have two, actually. The first one was the first day that I logged into UO. After reading the package that the NPCs will talk to you and all this other stuff, I had it in my head, that I was just going to have people yelling at me as I walked down the street. I log into Scarborough. I'm by the bees. All of a sudden, bees are starting to talk to me. I'm like, what the heck is this? This is crazy. I don't want to have a game where, of course, this is when people could hide and talk. So it was really a player just messing with me, of course. Probably a future PK. So I actually logged out of the game and didn't log back in for 2 days until a friend of mine said, come on back. Somebody's just messing with you. So that was my beginning in UO. But I think I have so many, it's really hard to tell, but the one that sticks with me and just makes me laugh to this day is a bunch of us were at Reds. We had just killed a bunch of people on Trinsic Point because that's where our home was. We had a friend, of course, that was blue, He goes, "Oh, let me gate you home." So we're like, "Okay, that's great." Well, the gate comes up, didn't pay attention, and the gate is actually to the top of Transic Bank. And every one of us, all 10, got killed. And of course, we lost all of our loot that we just stole from all the players that we had killed. So it's kind of karma, I guess, coming back on us. But we learned a very important lesson. Do not take a gate from a blue. They will get you killed whether they want to or not. So that's the moral of our story. So we're going to go on to Stephen now. Stephen?
Yep. Can you hear me?
We can now.
All right, great. So I've been on the team for over 12 years now. So I have a lot of memories in terms of the things that I have helped put into the game. And starting back with just developing the item insurance menu. It goes back to, I think I started in 2008. And we had, how many people we had on the team at that time? Around 20. Was it around 20?
22.
Something? 22.
22. I think Stephen's having a little technical difficulties, so hold on a second.
Sorry. Can you still hear me?
Yes, just don't see you anymore.
Okay. See if I can fix this.
Let's go ahead and move on to Jim while he's trying to fix that, and we'll come back to Stephen in a few minutes.
So for the past couple of years, I don't play as much as the rest of the team does, but I have enjoyed getting the feedback from the players, putting in as much of the items that we can that everybody asks for. We have to balance everything because one person wants one thing and another person wants another, and sometimes they conflict. So we sit down as a team and we come up with basically what would be the best middle ground for all of these things. But I've certainly enjoyed getting new items and hair and mounts and basically building upon the legacy of this game with the good players that we have with all of their experience and all of their love and joy. Tori?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Steven's back.
Steven's back.
Story. He can do it whenever you're through.
All right. So I was one of those kids who always watched the behind the scenes of every single movie, and I was enthralled by them, like how the monsters and aliens were made in Men in Black, Lord of the Rings, the whole Weta studio. And so the fact that I got to go from college to Broadsword and work on UO was just like dream come true. I get to do everything I've always wanted to do that I've ever dreamed of on this game. And I love it.
Very good. Stephen, unmute. I think he's still frozen.
I think he froze again.
Yeah. I think we should just kind of move on. I'm not sure how long it's going to take Stephen to fix his technical issue with Skype. So I'd just like to tell you guys what we've been doing up to this point to where we can do what we're going to be announcing. We have gone through and put in a lot of new tools to support not only live, but this other project that we have that we're going to be
I don't know.
I'm live.
Everybody is streaming. You're muted and they can't hear you.
I'm not muted.
Sounds back. All right.
Boom. Okay, I would like to tell you guys what we've been doing this year is developing a lot of new tools, a lot of programs that we're going to be using not only in what our new project is that we're going to be telling you in a second, that we've been teasing about for a while. Now is the time that you're actually going to learn what we want to tell you. But we've been putting in a lot of new tools that win events with champ spawns and the treasure chest and the TOTs and everything else that will make it a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable instead of just doing, come here, kill this mob, do this, do that, it's over. So we're making it a little bit more interactive for all you guys to enjoy what we're doing a little bit more and to put in what we're going to be putting in and to make it great. So we appreciate everybody holding off and not, hounding us to tell you beforehand. So we all appreciate that. And today is the day that you're going to learn the secret. So are you guys ready? Is it live? 1 second. Steven, can you hear us?
I can hear.
There you go.
So the final reveal. Okay, you ready? Without further ado, boom.
During the earliest span of the Age of Darkness, found in the writings of only the most aged of manuscripts, lived a world born of mystic arts and ancient sorcery, Sorsaria.
Welcome back. Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Greg worked really hard on it with some help from another gentleman, so we hope you enjoy it and watch it several times. We're very delighted to finally share our news with you. We're excited about it, and I know most of you are also. For the first time in 15 years, we're finally launching a new shard. We're offering a new generation of gamers and experiencing. So we hope that everybody comes back and gives it a try, checks it out, and it'll definitely be worth it. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Greg to give a little bit more details of our shard. And Greg, take it away.
Thank you, Bonnie. So yeah, we've been waiting patiently to share that news with you guys because, like Bonnie said, we are all incredibly fortunate and lucky and delighted to be working on this product and in this IP and being able to launch a new shard for the first time in over 15 years now is really exciting, especially for us not only as developers but as players too. So the first question that probably is coming to mind is, what exactly is Ultima Online New Legacy? This idea started about a year ago, almost a year ago today, when we posted a thing on our Facebook to celebrate our 22nd anniversary, and we asked a simple question: what is your Britannian legacy? And the response was overwhelming. And what it showed us is that, just like us, people who have had a chance to experience Ultima Online have an incredible connection to it. The nostalgia, the friendships, the fear, like Michael talked about sometimes, the excitement, you just can't find that anymore. And we started thinking and talking about how can we recreate that. And that's where this idea of Ultima Online New Legacy came from, because that is our ultimate goal, is to recreate the nostalgia that you once felt when you played UO without having to be bogged down and face the barriers to entry that you would otherwise face trying to get into a game world that is 23 years old. If you're established, if you're sitting high atop your castle, great. I personally don't have a castle, but that's okay. But for new players, it's always been a real challenge. So New Legacy is going to give us an opportunity to bring Ultima Online to an entirely new generation of gamers and to an old generation of gamers too. So we'd like to talk about some of the major differences between what New Legacy offers versus what a regular production shard offers. I don't know, Steven, if your mic is going there. Looks like his video might be frozen up, so if you want to cut in, there we go. I think so.
Okay. Is between Ultima Online New Legacy and what we currently have on live, right? New Legacy is a completely new custom rule set server. While the fundamentals of the gameplay remain the same as live, we are changing and redesigning some of those fundamental ideas and refocusing on the roots of Ultima as an RPG. We really want to provide players a fresh start on an original experience, and take them back to the things that they love the most. Right.
Yeah, so like Steven said, that's the absolute core of what we're trying to do here. If you look on UO.com now, you'll see we've got some additional FAQs up there you guys can take a look at. Those should be live, but what you're going to find if you check that out is that, between all of us, between people who have played UO, between the team members who have played it and the team members who have worked in this business for a long time, we've had a long time to see what works, what doesn't, and learn a thing or two about creating a virtual world. And UO New Legacy is going to give us an opportunity to take all that we've learned and apply it to a completely new experience. So like Steven said, well, the fundamentals aren't going to change. There's still going to be skills, there's still going to be dragons, there's still going to be that excitement, that emotion that gets you at the heart of the ultimate experience. What we're going to do is redesign on those fundamentals and how we implement them. So taking the stuff that doesn't work, making it better, and taking the stuff that does work and bringing that to an incredibly fresh new audience, new generation, so that we can see UO last for another 23, 50, who knows, even 100 years. And really, that's our goal. I can tell you personally, and I think for the entire team, this is probably the most excited that I've ever been to be a part of this project, because it's really going to unlock the potential of what we can do on a UO shard. We're going to be able to take bolder steps. We're going to be able to take bigger risks, and really that's what made UO amazing to begin with, was, you know, a very talented and ambitious group of people who were willing to take a risk and deliver this virtual world that we've all come to love so much. So I think at this time we'd be happy to take a couple of questions from the chat. There's a little bit of a delay on the stream, so forgive us as we work through kind of these pings and arrows of technology here. But yeah, in the meantime, we'll just go ahead and talk amongst ourselves, and as the questions come in, we can start to answer them. A few examples of what will be different and what will be the same. So like we said, you know, the fundamentals aren't going to change. You'll still be able to gain skills and use those skills to develop your character. What will be different, though, is the mechanic by which you obtain that skill, right? We're not going to get into super specifics about how that process is going to work, but you can take what I said earlier about what works, what doesn't work, what players like to do and what they don't like to do, and apply that to that scenario. So, you know, instead of having to grind up skills, we're going to take a different approach. We've got some ideas about what that is, and we're really excited about sharing those ideas in the coming weeks. So make sure you go to uo.com and sign up for the newsletter, because that is going to be where we're going to showcase new features, talk about what's coming down the development pipeline, showcase some awesome stuff. I know that I think the first thing up on our release schedule there is the game world, and we're really excited to share what that's going to look like, just the raw map and some of the other features we're adding to it as well. So let's see what else we've got from the chat. So a couple of questions about housing. If you take a look at the FAQ, which is on uo.com, we talk about what our plans are for housing. So basically, the housing that's on your production/live server will not be impacted by what is going to happen on the new Legacy shard. Looks like uo.com might have gotten hung up in the update. Steven, if you want to give it a kick.
Yeah, we're back up now.
Okay, great.
We can access it.
Wonderful. So yeah, so like I was saying, it won't impact your production houses, you know, but we're going to take a deeper dive into the entire housing feature, like I said, in our upcoming newsletter. So again, you want to make sure you stay subscribed to that and up to date through both the website and through our YouTube channel. And as Michael always likes to say, smash that subscribe button. Let's see here. A lot of questions about Trammel. So it's kind of, you have to take a step back, and the traditional Trammel Feluca dynamic that exists on live, that kind of is over on live. What we're building here is a new rule set that isn't going to fit into the Trammel Feluca paradigm. There's only going to be one facet, so there's not going to be multiple maps, like there won't be a copy. That we can say for sure. But as far as like how that relates to open world PvP and stuff like that, if you check out on the FAQ, we mentioned that, you know, there will be open world PvP in the context of a reworked Vice and Virtue system as it relates to notoriety, because that has turned out to be a really successful way to address some of the notoriety concerns that we faced in the past as far as PvP is concerned. We've also got a couple of things we're kind of working on. I don't want to get too much into specifics because then people are going to be like, oh my God, you said this 8 months ago and now it's different. But, you know, this is, don't lawyer us, bro. But it's something we want to make sure we address, because I know Bonnie is a huge fan of being a big player versus player combat masterine. So she's got a lot of vested interest in making sure that we provide that same experience, that same classic UO PvP kind of rough and tumble.
Just know that this new shard, even though it's going to be totally different, you're still going to have the same nostalgic feel of UO. We're not getting away from that. We'll never, ever get away from that. So if you're expecting to go and see all new art and all new this, you'll be disappointed. Don't. Everybody knows that you cannot go back and be happy. You know, once you've done it, it's done and over. You know, you have the warm nostalgia feeling, but please go into this with an open mind of what we're doing. This team of 6 people has probably done more than some of the other teams that were much larger. So I'm very proud. It might take us a little bit longer to get it right, but it will not be released until it's right. So please have faith in us. Hold off, because we're going to, as soon as we get it cemented, we will tell you about it. If it's just an idea in our head that's going to change 40 times before we actually put it in, then it's not any good to tell you, because it's just going to frustrate you and us. So please bear with us. We're going to keep an open communication line with you the whole way. Let you know when something's cemented, we'll let you know about it, and we'll get feedback and stuff like this. So please be patient. Know that we are working hard on this and have been for a while. So we appreciate all your support, but I just wanted to let you know that we're not going to lose the nostalgia UO feel what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, you know, the core mission, I think, for all of us. Looks like somebody was asking about character transfer. You will not be able to transfer to the new Legacy Shard. It is an island unto itself. But at the conclusion of the season of the Lost Shard, there is a cataclysmic event called the Shattering, and at that point you will be able to take your character along with whatever you obtain through the Legacy system, which is a brand new system that we're developing for this specific experience to really cement what it means to forge your Britannian Legacy and take that with you to a regular production shard. You can check out more specifics on you know, how that's going to work in the FAQ. Looks like UO.com might still be hung up. Let's see if I can get to it.
It's
I was
broken.
able to reach it.
We need to get it fixed.
It's probably getting slammed by traffic right now.
Yeah.
But
It's lagging also.
yeah. So we'll get that going as soon as we can. Somebody asked another good question. Let me just scroll up here and find it.
They asked about, can you hear me and see me?
Yeah.
Saw that they asked about gargoyles and elves. Right now we're planning on only having humans.
Yeah.
Only humans. Oh, wow. Did get hit again. Kick it again.
Oh, here we go. So the cinematic at the end references building your legacy in time. Will this new shard be closed within a certain time frame? Will it continue on for another 23 years? What era? So what you see in the cinematic and what the kind of life cycle of the shard is that New Legacy Shard gives you an opportunity to build your character's legacy through participation in the game world, and then all of those interactions are in service of a broader narrative. At the end of the day, we're ultimately all storytellers, and that's what we want to get back to. We want to get back to being able to tell a good story, have you live it, have you change it, have you experience it through the eyes of your character. In order to kind of put that into practice as far as a shard is concerned, you're going to be experiencing that through the life cycle of the new Legacy Shard, and then at the end, when that climax is reached and the narrative reaches its final moments, and the shard goes kaboom, you'll take that legacy over to a production shard, and then we will start again with something new to experience and a new legacy to be formed. So we're really excited to see how that's going to play out, because again, it's going to give us a chance to do things that we otherwise wouldn't have been able to do, and that's really exciting for us.
Are you looking for questions?
Yeah, I'm just reading through the chat log here.
Well, the one that Corey wrote is a pretty good one. At what expansion level is it going to start at?
Okay, so yeah, so what expansion level is it going to start at? So it's hard to say, and we talk about this in the FAQ, which is, people are going to say, well, is this a classic shard? And there is no way to create a one-to-one recreation of a classic shard. Just can't happen. But what we can do is take the most popular elements of a nostalgic period in the life cycle of the game and implement those on New Legacy, and that's what we're planning to do. Taking it back to when everything was much more intuitive, when everything was much more immersive, and building on almost like a new... You guys are funny.
She lost the bet.
I think Tori has just become the most popular member of the live stream. But, as I was saying, yeah, so is it a specific publish? No. Like I said, we can't just dial it back to some magic era and kind of just release it. But what we can do is, like I said, nostalgia, core RPG experience. So when we had those, that's what we're aiming for, and that's what our ultimate design goals are. So many yards, just this is funny.
Yes, there will be housing as discussed in the FAQ on the new shard. Limited, but yes. Yeah, we don't do shrines.
There's not going to be an additional cost.
That's a good question, Bonnie.
What, the additional cost?
Yeah.
No. But EJ accounts can also go there.
Mm-hmm.
They just can't place houses. Can you not hear me?
No, we got you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Oh, Michael's doing this.
Yeah.
Should be broadcasting.
It's asked me to touch my ear to confirm that I was alive.
He's alive. I can poke.
Are the weapon armor attributes going to be simplified? It's one of our goals, yeah. Masana, any word on a 25th anniversary party? Woo woo party!
I am working now to get a budget. Maybe do it a little bit different than we did the 20th, but the 20th was great. I had such a good time. I was so tired by the end of it, but I would love to throw another 25. And then 30 and 35, maybe do it every 5 years and just put that as a benchmark. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas of what you'd like to see or interact with on the 25th, then send them to me. You know my email address. More questions?
Let's see here. You guys are funny.
There is a question about is it going to be free to play or will we need to pay monthly? So it will be
Both.
Available to Endless Journey accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They'll still have.
You still have your same restrictions, like you can't place houses and stuff.
And the client will support both the classic client as well as the enhanced client. Still.
Will there be new skills, less skills, different skills? Will existing skills work differently?
That's a great question.
That's a great question. Yes, expect changes, yeah. Like we said, a big part of what we're doing is simplification, making it intuitive, and getting back to the core of it as an RPG. So, yeah. Some questions about where it's going to be hosted.
The location will be within the U.S.
Do you have to start a new character after a shattering occurs? You can take your existing character from that season of the New Legacy shard and take it off to one of the production shards. And when we launch the next season, you would start fresh with your New Britannian Legacy. A lot of what's going to be kind of linking those two seasons together is going to be through the Legacy system, which we're, like I said, really excited about building. Can't wait for that. A chance to share more details on that, but yeah, so to answer your question, you will create a new character and create a new legacy and forge your name into the history of Britannia for generations to come. Do any of you have a UO tattoo? That is the real question. Yeah, Bonnie does. I do. No, you cannot see them.
I have a ship on my leg and the UO is on the bow.
So basically another siege shard. No, this is not another siege shard.
No.
This is not siege.
Siege is siege. This is not siege. Will new developments be focused on these new shards rather than providing new content in real time to current production shards? Bonnie, you want to talk about that? I think you mentioned it earlier about the tools we've been working on.
Oh, the tools are, as you've seen right now, the one going right now is a new tool that Greg developed, or Greg and Steven developed. So it gives options to do like kill quest, gather quest. We have the Treasures of Tifuno type event that we can do. We have champ spawn tools that we can do. We've made it a lot easier to where you do not have to stop, program, code, publish to get it out. So we've made it streamlined with the tools to where we don't have to involve anybody else and still, oh, sorry, my hands are at the camera, I'm sorry. So I talk with my hands, I can't help it. So we've made it a lot easier to be able to have the EMs or myself or whatever say, oh, we want to put this event on the shard. like we're doing right now, and manually put it on massive shards like we're doing, putting them out. The tool that we're doing right now with the Blackgate is a new tool. We just started with the shards. That's why we're doing it in sections to make sure that if there's any issues, that we can catch them early before it goes to the next group of shards. So far we've been pretty good. We haven't had any issues with that. So we're really looking forward to putting out new content for you guys, continue on and keep you guys entertained in between you PKing somebody or mining or whatever you're going to do, whatever your profession is, so we can give you other activities to look forward to on a regular basis.
Yeah, there was another question that came through that was really good. Basically, it's asking, will some of the developments of what we're working on for New Legacy make their way onto production shards? Something we talk about in the FAQ. Certain things will. There's going to be crossover. Obviously, it may or may not be a one-to-one crossover, but some of the new systems and updates that we need to make and want to make to put on New Legacy will also be in service of production as well.
Right, especially quality of life changes.
This is a good question. How many characters you can allow on the shard?
How many characters? Right now, I think we're looking at the limit to that. Definitely not a full clip, we don't think, but also, don't lawyer us on that. We'll have to see how things kind of go.
Greg, we really need power scrolls, all shard bound.
You guys got to talk about that. There is a big debate going on right now on the UO forums about some quest items that we made shard bound, and it's literally just deco. So, that is a sticky situation to just start changing, which is another reason why we're so excited to start building something from scratch, because it is challenging from a design and a development standpoint to take into consideration not only a week's worth of design decisions or a month's or a year's, but over 20 years of design decisions, and it's very challenging. So again, one of the other reasons we're really excited to work on New Legacy.
Oh, I like this question from Michael Taylor. He's asking, is the economy going to restart so it's not so jacked for new players? As a new player trying to come in, it's really hard to buy items and get gold and stuff. So is everybody going to start on an equal level, or will some people have everything where others don't?
Yes, you will be starting on an even playing field. The economy will be reset, rethought, redesigned, reworked so that it is done with 23 years plus of virtual economics knowledge applied to it.
No, Kay Garrett, Tori cannot stand up and turn around.
Oh my goodness.
And she will not sing. So, there you go. Wow.
That's a really good question. Bradley Travy, I guess. Will earned items or achievements be passed down through legacies? Maybe a toon became a legend for striking the killing blow on the big bad boss man and ripped his cloak from his corpse. Can he keep? Boy, did I forget to erase the thought board? I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about as far as, what that legacy is going to mean. Part of that legacy system, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but is about giving you a chance to build a legacy between seasons, between characters, so that you've got a vested interest in continuing to tell your own story. It's kind of like writing a memoir in real time. Instead of looking back on your thoughts and writing them with pen and paper, you're doing it in real time. How long the seasons will last. I think right now we're looking at a year, but again, don't lawyer us on that. Skill cat, stat cap, to be determined. Release date. I think Bonnie talked about that earlier. If you want to talk about our kind of process with that.
Actually, the whole team sits down. We're not, as I said before, whenever we come up with an idea, we sit down, we throw it around, we talk about it, we add to it. And what was a really good idea is now a great idea. That you have so many different people here and so many different ideas and skill levels in the game, experience levels, that it makes for great content, in my opinion. As far as telling you exactly when we're going to release this, we're not going to do that yet. Further down the line, as I said, we're going to be keeping in communication with you guys, having an open line. We appreciate feedback. We appreciate your opinions. Not all of them will actually be done, but we appreciate it. We like hearing it. You know, sometimes we get ideas from your opinions, so you really do help develop this game, you know, on a back end kind of way. Will we tell you a date? No. Bottom line is, until we actually have it cemented and we know what it is, we're not going to give a date. We're not going to say it right now. We have a goal, but I'd rather not even say that yet. But we will keep you guys informed. That is a promise. And we will. Why am I so low? Can you hear me now? I feel like I'm yelling, and I do not have a soft voice. No, they're saying it's too low. They can barely hear me.
Probably because I dropped.
So bear with this. This is the first time we've used Skype, and this is the first time we've done this. So we've kind of prepped yesterday, and we've done this and do this, and it was really funny. And just so you guys know, for the record, Greg lost a bet that he said I would do, which I have not done. And the bet was, in all honesty, that you could not use the word classic. This is not a classic shard. It is, like Greg said, classic. So
No.
he was me. And I
That
lose. That's the best part.
means I win.
That vision. Probably couldn't hear what I just read, but in case that didn't go through, but somebody had said that the people of UO want open danger and risk. It's what sets this game apart. Don't be afraid of chasing the classic UO vision. That is our intent and our goal. The live stream is authentic. I really like it. That's right. We are real people behind these keyboards and the names that you see online with real feelings and real mental health. That goes for everybody in the entire game development community. Please remember that when you are engaging in your online stewardship. Be a good internet citizen, and as one of my favorite YouTube streamers says, be awesome to one another.
Give us new world, no new shard. We're still keeping the UO feel, so it's definitely not going to be a brand new world. It is going to be brand new, but not a brand new world. Steven, they want to know if you're on a 28.8 modem. Since he's frozen, I'm going to say no for him, but he's just having technical difficulties.
Yeah. Having some issues.
A lot of questions about PvP specifics. We'll make sure we get into the specifics of that in one of our upcoming feature highlights, because again,
best item in the game, or will there be imbued properties and so forth?
What was the question?
Will GM items be the best items in the game, or will there be imbuing and the other artifacts and stuff?
Right. So we like we said, we're rethinking, redesigning, reworking a lot of different systems, and in order to keep it intuitive, we want to make sure that crafters are kind of front and center. So at the core design goal for that is to keep it simple, keep it intuitive, kind of like it was back in the day, so that you can jump right in and get into the fun part of the action as quickly as you want. Bring back Power Hour at the Bone Wall. Good example of what it was like to experience the nostalgia of the world. Well, a lot of love for Jim's swords. 4 swords? Seriously, dude, those are rookie numbers. Next stream, let's up that to 6 or 7.
What PvP question?
Oh, that's just a tiny part of the collection. There's swords all over this house.
We were actually given swords by Broadsword with our name on them, and when the company started, so they're pretty cool. What question did I dodge on PvP? I'm sorry.
Are you on the new shard with other players? Yeah, it's an open world MMORPG at its very core. So yeah, other players. We want lots of players, other players. As a matter of fact, it looks like the entire world gave UO.com the hug of death. So we're working to get that back online right now. But a lot of people are are really excited for this. We can tell.
Do you remember when Trammell opened and everybody was trying to place a house?
Yeah.
All at the same time, and the shard crashed?
Oh, they want to see a broadsword sword. Hi, I just happen to have one.
What? Oh, the sword?
Broadsword sword. This was
Yeah.
a gift when we started at Broadsword. Pretty sweet.
They're engraved, you just can't see it.
Oh.
Yeah, you can't see it.
Oh, I need to polish this. I'll have to visit the blacksmith. Perhaps the one in Britain. Aha!
You've been waiting all day long to say, aha!
I know.
Isn't it Pirate Day or something today?
I think it was a couple days ago.
Oh, dang. What question? What question did I missed the question. You dodged my question, Bonnie. What's them digits, girl?
I will not stop larking, Cole Zellers. A pox upon thine house.
Can you talk about the plans to address third-party programs being blocked from the new shard? No, we can't talk about something that we really have not investigated or have the direction to tell you where we're going. So we are aware of it. We don't like it. We're going to do what we can to make everything fair. We wish we could just, snap our fingers and the game would be equal and nobody would cheat. But, it's kind of like the old saying, the one with the most toys win. And some people feel like they have to cheat to get the toys, unfortunately. So, yes, this is the whole team for UO. Amazing, isn't it, what we put out for this number? That would be a Stephen question about the guilds and being able to track them. And I'm not. Is his eyes moving? Stephen, are you here? He's still not here. There he is. So this question would be yours. Are you going to do anything to help them track guilds or groups on the new shard? Are you going to put anything in for guilds?
And we have a long list of feature changes that we're looking into. And if we have time, we will try to make all the best adjustments to help social interactions and improve the end game in terms of the new shard. So it's on our plate. We are aware of a lot of systems, and we will be doing as much as we can to make it feel right.
Okay, let me answer this real quick. No, there will not be the counselors, the seers. We cannot have them legally. We cannot have them. We're not putting them back in the game. That is a part that will not return to UO at all. We have the EMs and we have, of course, the GMs and us. So there you go. And yes, we're still keeping the town safe zones, right, Greg?
So yeah, I just saw that question pop up. The question is, by mixing Feltram, do you mean there will be safe zones? Because removing the risk versus reward side of the game will ruin it. Everywhere should be dangerous. Stop dodging this question, please. Well, let us allow us to answer that question. By mixing, the idea of this mixing between Tram and Fel is that it's going to work within the framework of VVV. But we also recognize that there are people who want open world, just all hell on wheels PvP. So we're trying to thread the needle to handle both of those. What I can tell you, after watching 23 years of virtual worlds being live, that a completely open, get your stuff taken from you, no protection whatsoever, rampant PK, res killing design paradigm does not do anything to maintain a healthy community. That's why they put Tram in the first place, also to address housing. But people were dying, they were losing all their stuff, and it didn't do well for the population. But we also want to capture that feeling, so we're going to try and do our best to thread that needle. Give Thieves some love. We've got some interesting plans for Thieves that we'll see how that shakes out, but it's up there. It's my favorite class, so I'm personally invested in that one because I'm going to steal all your stuff. I'm not giving it back either.
Oh, sorry. This is a really good question too. Are you going to return the vanquishing, the attributes, that kind of those weapons? Power, vanquishing.
Right. Yeah. So the entire kind of breakdown of item properties, it's a huge piece of the design of the new Legacy Shard, and we've got a certain list of design principles that all of our design questions apply to. So when you ask, like, will there be this thing or will there be that thing, these specific questions, we go back to our design principles. And one of those is to keep things simple and intuitive. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea of where our thinking is at. It looks like we have run our time.
One more question.
All right.
I want to answer.
Yep. Take it away, Bonnie.
Swift. Seriously?
I can hear you.
Can anybody hear me? It's Greg's fault. Okay, let me answer that again. Whenever somebody asked what my role was in UO when I started, and in '99 I started as the external test lead, which nobody really knew about. Then I went to I was kind of contracted at that point. Then I went to QA lead, and then I moved to Virginia, and I was the associate producer. I mean, associate. I was an ADM, associate development manager, and then I was the producer. So there you go. Everybody starts. That's how you get into this business. You start doing QA. Well, that's how somebody that because honestly, I did not have a gaming background. I just played games. I actually have a mechanical engineering degree. So this was totally just fun for me until they said, "Oh, you want some money to do this?" And I went, "Oh, hell yeah! I mean, heck yes!" So that's how I got started. And sorry about that. So that's
All right, it
uh,
looks like we have reached about an hour here, which is kind of where we wanted to take things. Obviously, there's still a lot of information to come from both, you know, us, and we have a whole bunch of questions coming in as well. We're going to do our best to get UO.com back up and going as quickly as we can. You know, this has been a lot of fun, and we're really glad we got to do it in this medium. And you know, we hope everybody's been safe, and we hope everybody's been well, and we're glad that Britannia can offer you a little bit of kind of escape from an otherwise terrible year. So from us to you, thank you very much for being part of UO. Anything closing words?
We will be giving you updated information on the new shard and on production. We're going to keep them separate though, so they're not confusing to you guys. Whenever we give out information on the new shard, it will be totally separate formatting and everything else than what we're going to do on this, so everybody is clear as to what's being done where. So please stay tuned to us. Stay in touch, and we'd love to hear from you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Thanks for coming.